So now that we've got our slideshow created, what we're going to do here now is actually bring in some slides and then animate in some titles is what we're going to do. So here we've got our first slide already created. Once we create the layer slider, we come into this interface here, which allows us now to create and edit slides. And here we have slide 1, and we have our slide options right up here up top, and we have image, thumbnail, slide delay, whether we use 3D or 2D, what type of transitions we want to use, if we're going to link the slide anywhere, if we want to give it a CSS ID so that we can go ahead and write some CSS or JavaScript code for it. First thing we're going to do is go ahead and put in our main image for the slide. We're going to click there, and it's going to allow us to go to the media library. I'm going to upload some files. I'm going to come down over here to Layerslider demo, and you'll see I've got 4 images in here. I'm actually going to select all these images and then click open. And what that's going to do is it's going to upload all 4 of these images, so I don't have to keep going and uploading each one manually, and I don't have to upload them prior. I can just upload them while I'm actually uploading the initial image. I'm going to go ahead and choose this image for the first image. Click Insert, and now it's going to insert that image, and I see it down here in this area. Now, if I wanted this slide delay over here, this is going to say how long that slide is going to stay on the screen once it's animated in. Let's say I want it to actually stay in 5 seconds instead of 4 seconds. I would just change this to 5,000. As you can see over here, this is milliseconds. Be sure to follow however many seconds that you want with 3 zeros. But this does give you fine-grained control over it. So you can actually, if you wanted it to be 2.5 seconds, then you would enter in 2500. So it is nice because it'll give you very, very fine-grained control over delays and animations. Over here, if I wanted to, this will, as default, it will just actually, every time this slide slides in, it will just cycle through the transitions that are available. But if I wanted to select what transitions, if I just wanted one, or if I wanted multiple ones, I can come here and click Select Transitions, which will bring up the Transition Select box. And you select them just by clicking on them, as a matter of fact. And like I said, you can select more than one. But if you don't select any, they will automatically all be selected, is how the system views it, and it will just cycle through them at random. To see what they do, you can just come over here and hover over it, and you'll get a little light box that'll come up, and will show you what the different transitions look like. So you can browse through them, and then go ahead, and if you like that transition, you can select it. And you'll see there are quite a few different types of transitions. Some are 2D, some are 3D. As you get further down, you'll see some of the more elaborate ones coming up, some of the more 3D stuff. As you can see, scrolling further down, things will tile in several different ways, and you'll actually even get some that are pure 3D transitions. As you go further down, you'll see it looks like spinning tiles over here, spinning rows like that, vertical spinning rows, and they say what they are, but also it's really nice because as you're scrolling through, you can just take a quick look real quick and see what these look like. Very, very slick animation, and they will work on almost any browser, although unfortunately support in Internet Explorer 9 is lacking. The 2D transitions work fine, but unfortunately the 3D transitions do not work in Internet Explorer 9. So as I said, you can select multiples of those or leave them all unselected, and it will automatically assume that you've selected them all and will just cycle through them at random. Come down here to the lower area down here, and what we have is we have different layers. And we have one layer first of all, and I can put another image in there if I wanted to. Like let's say I had a PNG image of a logo I wanted to slide in here and sit over here. I could add an image and then grab that and move that around the screen till I got it where I wanted, and then set some options for it. Or I could actually just bring in some text, and that's what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click on this H1 tag, and that's the largest tag, and I'm just going to put in test heading is all I'm going to do. And now you'll see up here, all of a sudden right up here in the right hand corner, I have this title. This says test heading. I'm going to bring this down, and I'm going to put this right over here. Now you should be aware that this is not actually what it's going to look like on the outside, because I have CSS rules that are denoting how these look inside here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to come over here next to options, and now I'm going to get the ability to decide how this is going to animate. So here I can have it auto slide in from auto direction, which means it will just kind of randomly slide in whatever. I can tell it to fade, or I can tell it to slide in from the top, right, bottom, and left. We'll choose top. And here we have different types of easing. You can play around with these. Ease out quint is the one that is by default, but like I said, you can go ahead and play around with those. Some kind of bounce a little back and do things a little differently. As you'll see, you'll have ease in, out, back. We'll go ahead and select that one here. Here's a delay. What delay do you want in this particular layer coming in? For instance, if I wanted to have a layer that was going to come in after the image appeared, I wanted it to come in, let's say, 1 second after the image appeared. So I would put 1,000 for a delay there. And then transition out is exactly this same right up here. It's just saying that what do you want to do when it goes out? Well, I'm having it slide in from the top here, so I'll have it slide to the bottom to come out. The duration of the animation is 1,000 seconds. And for the delay, I will go ahead and put 500. I wanted to do that fairly quickly. So, okay, so let's go ahead and save these changes right now. We've went ahead and we've added a layer, and we've added an animation for the heading right here. So now let's go back to all of our sliders, and we're going to take this short code right here, right next to our example slider. We're going to copy this, come over to our test page, paste that. Got some extra spaces right there. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. And then just click Update. And now I click View Page. Here is our slider. And here is our heading coming in. Our heading right now is a dark color, and we'll go ahead and write a CSS rule to ensure that any headings coming in here will go ahead and be lightly colored. But when it comes to changing these, the color of these, they're actually done in the CSS. And we can actually create a video showing you how to actually go ahead and take these headings and change the colors of them. It's very, very simple to do that with CSS. But as you can see, this heading is coming all the way down here, and it's way too low. It's not doing what I want. So I'm going to go ahead and go back into my slider here, and let's go ahead and fix this. Let's go ahead and take this heading, and let's just scooch that up just like that. Then come over here and save our changes. And now let's refresh and see how that looks now. Now you'll see when our heading comes up, it comes up, and it's now in an area where we want it to be. It's now we can see the entire thing, but it's still a little bit too far over here. So I'm just going to come in here real quick and move that over a little bit like that. Click Save Our Changes, refresh, and now we've got test heading, and it's nice and centered right where we want it to be. So that is how you go ahead in a layer slider here. Now, as you'll see, we don't have a sidebar on this page. So if we wanted to add a sidebar to this page, I would actually just come over here to Edit Page, come down to Template, and just choose Page with Sidebar. Click Update. View the page again. And now you'll see we have a widgetized area, and as you'll see, our slideshow has now changed size to go ahead and fill the area here perfectly, and it has and when it changed size, it kept the aspect ratio of our picture so that it didn't get skewed in any way. So as the screen size changes and gets smaller, this will adapt to the screen size. And as we add more layers on, then we'll begin to see different things. We could add another layer here if I wanted to, another text layer, and I could come in and let's say I wanted a different H1 tag, and I just put second header. Sorry, let's capitalize that, and then come over here to Options, and let's say we're going to slide this one from the right and slide it out to the left. We'll delay that by 1,000 and delay the out by 500. Then I'll save the changes here. Refresh this, and you'll see now we get two coming in. One up here because we haven't moved this anywhere, and another one coming in there. Now, you're not seeing anything, you're not seeing how these are actually animating out because we don't have a second slide. We need to go ahead and add a second slide. So let's click this, click on our image, go ahead and add our second slide, 600 by 400 pixels. And let's go ahead and add in another H1 tag, and we'll call this the second slide header. I'll go ahead and move that over here, see how that looks on it. Go ahead and for the animated in, I'm going to fade it in, and let's fade it out. And let's give it a delay of 1,000, and let's give it a delay of 250. So this one is really quick. And let's click Save. Now, let's come over here, refresh, and we'll see that now we get our initial animation, and then they will animate out, and then we'll get our second slide coming in, and then this will animate in, and then before it goes to the second one, it will fade out and then begin to animate. So creating and editing these slides is very simple. It's not it doesn't take a lot of knowledge of code or anything like that. Just changing the colors of, for instance, the H1 tags will require a little coding, but we'll be happy to create a video for that to show you how to do that, and we will go ahead and set these to be white once we do deploy the site. So anyway, that is if you wanted to. Oh, one thing, if you want to delete a layer, delete a slide. If you want to, like, let's say I don't want this layer anymore, I just want to delete it. That's what these little red boxes are up here. And you will get it will ask you for confirmation if you want to delete that. Just like up here, if you want to delete the slide, when you click on this, you want to delete the slide. That's how you delete slides. There we go. So are you sure you want to remove this slide? So it will ask you for confirmation before you do that. But that's what these little red X's for are, both to delete layers and to delete slides. When you delete the slide, it of course will delete all these layers, and you can add as many layers as you want. It doesn't matter, and the layers can be, like I said, they can be just heading tags, they can be other images that are coming in, and you have complete control over how they're going to animate in. You can delay both the animate in and animate out and change the animations here. So it's very flexible, but at the same time very simple to use. So if you have any further questions or want any further explanation on the Layerslider, just let us know.